Doing this bad boy live. Liam and Davis. Davis and Liam. Depends on your viewpoint there. We're back. We're back. We're going to be just talking all things best ball. Davis, though, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right, bro. It is insanely cold here. It's about 4 degrees outside. A lot of snow on the ground. So that has been better.
I like the snow. I don't mind, I I like the snow. I don't like the cold. I was just up in New Jersey and that was okay. Look, we jumped in here. I got my first 101. Got my first Jamar Chase. Davis pulling the 104 here. Davis, you've been grinding. How's that been?
Dude, it was great. We did one so fast yesterday. We got a big board in on my stream in like under like 20, probably like 23 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. it was just serendipitous. Everyone got in one at the same time. And I was like, you don't got to draft fast, or you don't have to draft well, but you do have to draft fast. And we didn't get any.
Did the fish not believe
drafter.
that Brandon Ayuk is good? Did they not see the Debo run out? Some people are just not going to make it. They're just not going to make it. We try. You can lead a horse to pasture. You can't make him drink, though. You can't make him drink. So this is from Hayden. Let's make this image bigger. And looks like he did a little bit of consensus rankings of other combine people. Obviously, we don't care about most of this. Travis Hunter clocking in at the 107. I don't know, man. I'm getting more and more vibes he's going to be doing some wide receiver stuff. Cam Ward, 7.3. Pretty nice. Tyler Warren, 8.3. Okay, so I was of the previous opinion that Tyler Warren maybe catching some buzz due to Brock Bowers and whatnot. Where do you think he's going to clock in? Closer,
really
as
high.
far as production in his rookie year, do you think he's going to be closer to, a Kincaid, which is a pretty good rookie season, Laporta, which is a fantastic rookie season, Bowers, which is also a fantastic rookie season, or potentially worse than that?
If he goes 600 yards and 2 touchdowns, I think that would be a huge disappointment. I think you need him more in like the 807 range. The concern with Tyler Warren is that his most common, if you look at the mock draft database, the most common place that he is mocked to is the Indianapolis Colts. Now,
I don't think you can, any landing spot concerns is totally out the window to me when Brock Bowers was a Raider last year, which was probably the nut worst spot. Now, Brock Bowers ran pure with Devontae Adams getting traded. But landing spot being bad does not exist if Tyler Warren is an elite player. The bigger question is, what type of player is he to you? Who does he comp? If you had to comp his fantasy production to someone, landing spot agnostic, what is that to you?
Yeah, I'd say it's a lot closer to Laporta. I would say that is, or I mean, what you really want is you want him to have the rookie season that we were all imagining for Brock Bowers, where he scored a bunch of touchdowns, got gadget plays and things like that. It ended up not happening. He got there through, basically like sheer receptions. I think Laporta is where you're aiming at for him.
And the thing with Laporta is what he did was in no way sustainable in the sense that he got there off of touchdowns, right? So it's as far as a rookie fantasy season, he scored 10 touchdowns or so, which is just a lot of touchdowns for any player to score, and why he was a logical negative regression candidate for year 2, not even considering the Jameson Williams expansion. So Davis starting off with a Bijan and Ladd. ADP has it Bucky and Terry. I have it Terry and Brees. A lot of running backs here. I think we will go Terry. We're not going to get Jaden to fall, but you can dream. And why don't we throw it back and include a little Garrett Wilson here? Rodgers, recent NFL news, Rodgers will be a post June 1st cut. He could be a Colt, which if he's paired with Tyler Warren, pretty good. I don't think he will be a Colt. I still think Anthony Richardson.
I think Cousins is more, if they're going the veteran route, I think it's more likely to be Cousins.
He kind of seems like a Brown to me, right? The thing about Cousins and Rodgers is both of them played off of the Achilles tear.
Right.
And so you have the optimism for both of them that a year healthy, they're good. Other NFL news, there was one bit I was trying to talk about that I blanked on. That was like actually kind of noteworthy. Let me pull this up. While I'm doing that, anything come to mind to you? Oh, Mostert cut from the Dolphins. I mean, look, you go from being the best fantasy pick of all year 2 years ago
to being
cut. Big for Jalen Wright, probably, right? But I don't know. It's a pretty bad free agent running back class.
It's a brutal free agent running back class to the point that I moved up Javonte Williams pretty substantially in my ranks because I started doing the math of like, well, not every team has the draft picks. Like Minnesota, really good example. I've just been earmarking Minnesota. Like, oh, they're going to take a running back, maybe two running backs, right? They got nothing out of their running game at the end last year. Minnesota has 4 draft picks.
For Mostert.
They have 4 draft picks, dude. So spending 2 on a running back is probably not happening. So I moved him up a good bit. Mostert, I mean, he's 33. So it could be
he's getting a 1 year, $4 million.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying no.
The Texans, man, like that's that system, if they're going to be sticking to that Shanahan system where you have them as Mixon's backup. They have absolutely no one really of note to back up Mixon.
Right.
I don't know. It's probably, look, it's a very slow time of the year. It's probably not anything noteworthy to have Mostert being cut, but it is at least a vote in the direction of Jalen Wright. I think he should go up just a little bit. The Dolphins, again, I know they love running backs, but it really is not sensible for them to invest high in a running back. Achane ripped off as the 107. That's fine to me. He is. Derrick Henry is the 106. That's not fine to me. Like Derrick Henry obviously has upside. It's just not real. Like, look, anything is fine in a unique combo sense, but almost assuredly on the bad side of a bad unique combo, taking Derrick Henry at the 106 to me.
Derrick Henry is a bad pick at his ADP anyways, not to say I don't take him, but you know what? I need to... Oh, never mind. My screen is not shared. I just updated my rankings, but I've not uploaded them into the applet yet, so I need to go do that real quick.
So Tyler Warren clocking in ahead of Gene T. A little bit of a surprise for me. McMillan, of course. And then Colston Loveland coming on pretty high here in the consensus rankings.
Yep.
Shadur, somewhat respectable. Wide receiver 2, Emeka Egbuka.
That is just bad. I refuse to accept that this is happening.
Yeah, but Luther Burden is the one I see more commonly clocking in as number 2 in the class, if we don't include Travis. Omario Hampton coming in as RB2. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. I have Caleb Williams as my Caleb Johnson as my second best running back of the class. And I don't even know if it's that close, frankly. I think Caleb Johnson is fantastic.
Let's see. We'll see where he's not coming in for a bit. You're a bit of a ledge there. Because it goes Matthew Golden, it goes Travion Henderson, Mason Taylor, who I believe he was the guy who had no ADP, but Bugler had a good ranking on. Am I?
He had him high, but also Jordan James.
Yes, but Mason Taylor, and then Caleb Johnson, your guy, and then Jackson Dart. So, I don't know, not exactly following ADP. Again, a lot of rankings out there are somewhat hot takey in name. I don't really know who Hayden sourced it from. I'm sure he's not sourcing it from the most hot takey guys. You take Rome Odunze. Where are you at on him, man? I think Rome is like, I was a big Rome guy last year. Maybe I'm a little sticker shock from that. Obviously, the Ben Johnson, year 2 Caleb, year 2 Rome is all good. Keenan, probably not a bear. Where are you at on him compared to DK Metcalf, Jalen Watt, like guys who we know are good, right?
Well, I definitely
know Rome's good, but we just don't know, I guess, what.
It's just so funny at that turn, that 4 or 5 turn there, because like I'm fine with literally any of those guys that I get. Adams, Metcalf, Flowers, Waddle, Addison, Tet. I'm really Olave. Yeah. So I kind of just mix and match it. What I like about Rome is I think he can kind of do either thing in Ben Johnson's offense. I think he could excel in kind of the JMO deep shots and end arounds and reverses and things.
That's ideal if that's the case.
Or that could be DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze can catch a bunch of 7-yard slants. You know, he could be. I mean, obviously he's not nearly as good, I don't think, as Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think he can do either thing.
I wouldn't 1-to-1 comp the offenses, because again, Caleb's going to run more than Goff ran, and I just believe in Ben Johnson's ability to match his personnel to his system, right? And so, like, I wouldn't, like, you know, I get the temptation. There's probably some validity to it, but I don't think DJ Moore is going to be like just copying the Amon-Ra St. Brown route tree, right? Like DJ Moore wins deep. He kind of.
Well, DJ Moore is actually the perfect fantasy wide receiver if he ever played in a really good offense, because he is both insanely good after the catch. So you can give him the screens, you can give him the crossers, you could do all that. And he also wins down the field. I mean, we saw it. I guess we saw it 2 years ago with Fields when he finished wide receiver 7. I think that Mr. Moore, I mean, it would not surprise me if he posted first round wide receiver scores this year.
I mean, same with Rome, right? Where it's like, it's, you know, Rome, some impressive target numbers. The Bears were obviously like a disaster at some point in the season. The O-line was garbage. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it really was not that great a rookie year, but, you know, I guess like let alone him going 8th overall, one of the best things for him is the just like Jameson Williams turning on in year 4, and it probably won't take Rome that long, you know.
No, I mean he didn't get suspended for gambling or drugs, and yeah. So
what do you think about this
going for him?
Naked Joe Burrow? Not for me.
Naked Joe Burrow is terrible. I mean, just it's a bad ADP to begin with, and you get Joe Burrow. So tell yourself the story. How do you win in week 17 with Joe Burrow, no T. Higgins, no Jamar Chase? How do you win?
All right, we're doing it. We're doing the 7 wide receiver, and we're done.
Wow. Extreme builds you've been doing.
I mean, sometimes you just got to, right? Like, I think the Garrett Wilson pick in a vacuum should be a running back. But then it's like, dude, Zay Flowers year 3, possibly Mark Andrews is slower, and worse. Then Jalen Waddle.
He's definitely not going to be any worse than he was to start last season, but he also might not be on the team, right? I'm actually going to take Judkins here. Mark Andrews.
Oh, Jalen Waddle is just easily that's like that's like hitting a double in baseball, taking Jalen Waddle at minimum. Like it's maybe a double to maybe a triple. Jennings, I don't know. You could go running back there, but Tyrone Tracy, man, he's like, yeah. And then Luther Burden, getting our rookie here to mix in. We're getting a lot of year 2 people. I saw some chatter about Terry. The nice thing about Terry is he's a bet on Jaden Daniels. It remains to be seen what the Commanders are adding. He did score a lot of touchdowns, but I think he's just going to score a lot of touchdowns, right? Like he was looked for in the red zone, and we know he's a good player. So, a pretty safe selection. Again, the running backs probably have more league-winning upside in a vacuum. I made the title of my video, "What is the best construction this year?" What, in your opinion, is that?
3-6-8-3. Without
that needs more expansion as far as when you are taking. 3-6-8-3 is obviously
3-6-8-3, hero running back, 1 quarterback in the window, 1 tight end in the first 10 rounds, 2 late quarterbacks, 2 late tight ends. Ideally I've changed this a little bit. It used to be I'd like to have 5 wide receivers by round 9. Now I think you can get away with 4 because I am tilting a little bit more towards wanting running back scoring, hitting my flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, I'm not going to as much say just like a jumble of numbers. And if anyone's confused out there, first off, if you're watching the stream and you don't know what 3-6-8-3 is, God bless you. But we're talking about quarterbacks, running backs, wideouts, tight ends. To me, it is getting at least 1 running back by round 3. Leading a little more running back heavy early, just because, they're going to give you some wide receiver gifts that feel pretty good, pretty late in the rounds, which I've obviously shut myself out from. I could add an 8th wide receiver, but I think it's a mistake.
You think adding an 8th wide receiver is fine, just kind of depending on maybe you decide you need one with your quarterback or whatever.
I think it's a mistake for how I'm building right now.
You have what? So you have Waddle, you have Burden. This team could be like a Darius Slayton candidate or whatever.
It could, but all else equal, that pick should almost always be a running back gamble.
Sure.
It's like, could Darius Slayton be the key in a playoff week, a key in whatever? But, like when you made your bed with 7 wide receivers to start, you need to get the scratch tickets at the other positions, mainly running back,
Yeah.
Because some years I'm going to hit on the Chase Browns, etc. And some years I'm going to instead select Jaylen Warren from last year, This seems like a pretty good team to actually gamble on Pacheco. He has downside, but he has upside. No real.
I probably would have. I think he's fine there. I was gonna say you definitely just double tap 2 dust balls there, and then you might even take 7 running backs on this team.
Yeah. Well, then, the nice thing about Pacheco is I thought he looked better in the Super Bowl. Obviously the Chiefs looked disastrous as a whole.
So
truly, there wasn't a drive where it didn't go like game ending or, like drive ending sack for like 7 in a row. But Pacheco, downside is like out of the NFL / RB3 on the Chiefs. Upside is just like literally what he was drafted to be last year. And I would say like a reasonable middle is, kind of like the Najee Harris on the Chiefs, where like there's a guy with more juice and he is, getting most of the carries, whatever.
This comment from Chad is super spot on. I have the same issue with the 0 running backs is after you get to like Scattaboo, Ollie Gordon, Devin Neal, it's like they're literally all the same to me. Like the guys who literally go undrafted, like Justice Hill and Trey Benson are the same value proposition effectively.
Well, the issue is, you don't like in the last round, you feel good about a lot of wide receivers. You don't feel good about a lot of running backs, but there are some guys out there.
What running backs do you feel good about late? Because I feel better about the running backs late. Who like what like round 19 wide receivers do you like?
A lot. Like Darius Slayton.
Give me some names. I need them.
Darius Slayton, Deontay Johnson. Like there are guys that are like worth rolling the dice on. Kayshon Boutte, right? Like there's a lot of dudes late in these drafts who you're like, I could see it. Ray McLeod, Luke McCaffrey, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson and Devontae Walker, Mike Williams, healthy, like there are some guys who like have upside. Parker Washington, Jalen Polk, year 2 breakout dude.
I've taken him a couple times. I mean, could Jalen Polk do
Trey Tucker? Trey Tucker feels quite good to me.
Quentin Johnston. Could Jalen Polk do that? I think he could. Deontay, I've not clicked. Because I think the thing is Deontay Johnson was never any good. And what we learned the most recent year was he's also a dick. So if you're not that good and your only skill is soaking up shitty, bad volume for bad teams, it's unlikely that
his
some teams
downside is he's a 0. His upside is he scores 140 fantasy points.
No, don't get me wrong. I think you're correct with the value proposition.
Yeah,
I actually don't think you're wrong at all. But I don't know. Maybe I should take.
You're gonna
a little bit.
We could easily look back and be like, wow. The wide receiver 18 was a 20th round pick. Like that's like in the range.
I mean, the thing that is keeping me from really getting there was
how about Deontay versus Steph Diggs, dude? Like Steph Diggs, torn ACL. Sure. I like Steph Diggs more. Like Steph Diggs has a lot of downside coming off that ACL.
No, he. Yeah, I mean, he's got a shit ton of downside,
and he's a 10th round pick. Yep, he's a pretty.
I've
good
got
one.
Diggs ranked way. I think I have Christian Kirk straight up ranked ahead of Diggs right now.
Kirk, I like. He has risk himself.
What I was saying with Deontay though was the Texans were like, they were dead on their feet. They had no one at wide. They were playing Xavier Hutchinson, Robert Woods, and John Mechie in a playoff game.
It had nothing to do with the talent, though. It had everything to do with Deontay attitude. So, like, any bet on Deontay is not. It's can he become, a better attitude guy?
Maybe he stares down the barrel of like literally like not being in the NFL, and he's like, all right, I gotta.
No, like that's what you need. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's possible.
Well, I'm gonna go May, and I'm gonna take another unstacked quarterback here.
If you take Dak, there's a rough chance.
Think about him or Stroud, yeah.
Well, Stroud, you'll for sure be able to get Schultz. Dak, you can maybe get Ferguson. If you take Penix, you should be able to get Pitts.
I think Dak has more upside than Stroud, but he
definitely
also
does.
He also has far more downside. And I don't know. Like, you got to pay attention to what people are doing. And when this guy builds pretty bad, going Mahomes, Goff, Kyler Murray, 7, 8, 9. I mean, it's not terrible. Obviously, it can work. They're all stacked. But when
Wow,
someone's
that worked out
hoarding 3 quarterbacks,
really
you
well.
got to pay attention to what that's going to do. Davis takes 2. This guy takes 2. This guy takes 2. So it's like, this is my chance to get the quarterbacks. The running backs don't make sense there. I can find tight ends. I'm not going wide receiver.
That worked out for me. I was sweating that because the Jordan Love pick is probably egregious without, because then if I miss on Kraft,
We have Reed.
then right, but I took Love first. I probably should have taken Kraft first. I wasn't paying attention because I had more quarterback outs on this team.
I probably go Love over Stroud with the bet I get like Marshawn Lloyd stacked with him.
Well, you could have taken Love and Kraft because you don't have a tight end.
I would have definitely done that if available.
Yeah.
Drake, obviously, you don't need stacked. And, I have a rookie. So Luther Burden somehow could be a Patriot. Probably not.
Luther Burden could definitely be a Patriot.
With their 2nd round pick, man?
No, the Patriots are super live to trade down. They're probably the most live team to trade down, maybe even multiple times in the first round. Because
a couple teams are going to want to trade down because this class is supposed to be somewhat deep, and quite a bit of teams at the top don't need quarterback. So, like, that makes like a reverse bidding war, or like it's a bidding war to trade down, which usually we just see like doesn't happen.
Probably no bidding war spots this year, frankly. I would be surprised. I mean, maybe someone really wants Cam Ward, maybe someone really wants Sturt, maybe someone really wants Abdul Carter. I guess it's all possible, but yeah, I don't know. Cheap, the prices could be cheap to trade up this year if you like someone.
Yeah. Dobbins, I think, is a good roll of the dice still. Like him, Swift, Ramondre, they all feel similar to me. Different strokes for different folks there. They all have downside, obviously.
I take Swift and Sharps over Dobbins. Not that couldn't bite me or whatever.
And I think that's valuing safety more than upside. Sharps, like I would say, has a lot of upside, but
so
he has
the thing with Dobbins is I was like, okay, he was healthy, he played all last year, and he just was bad. He just was like not He had like the one really good run in week 2, but he has no long speed anymore. So where does the upside come from? I guess the upside just comes from volume.
It's volume, and it's what does a full year of healing do? Not going injured into the offseason for a guy who's like had a bunch of catastrophic injuries.
Always hurt.
Yeah, like what does him going over to Germany and getting the new stem cells do for him?
That's true. The way I think of, wow, and I do get Christian Kirk here.
He's it's definitely not something I'd want to draft static, right? I wouldn't want to be like, oh, he's J.K. Dobbins over Swift,
right.
Sharp. Like that's like clearly a mix.
Well,
I'm always J.K. Dobbins over Najee though, even though Najee's a safer pick.
It's like the same thing to me. I think they're upside. I think Dobbins at this stage of his career is much closer to Najee in skill level, frankly.
Najee does not have catastrophic injuries and also never had juice.
He looks like he runs in jeans.
I just could see Harbaugh also just kind of being like semi-loyal to J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, for sure. That's real. Yeah.
And also, I could see whoever is the, Kelsey, man, I just don't know how you do it. Whoever is the,
I've got Kelsey
ranked. It's a good team to roll the dice on Richardson. Why not?
Yeah, I've got Kelsey ranked at 174, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna update my rankings soon. He's got to go down.
Yeah.
The other thing I could see is like whoever's going to land with the Chargers is going to be viewed as like Blake Corum in the sense that,
oh, sure,
they're the guy, and you know what? He could be Blake Corum, and J.K. Dobbins is just kind of like Kyron Williams, you know?
Do I take Pitts or Dobbs here? Like pretty weak at tight end.
They're both fine to me.
I'm gonna
JJ McCarthy's a pretty egregious pick there, I think. Like what? Like
to the
Jefferson drafter?
So the thing is, though, you are ducking the Hawkinson drafter, and he already ducked the Addison drafter. So let's check.
It's just like, what is his upside? What is is JJ McCarthy's upside similar to Sam Darnold to you, or is it worse?
It's probably better.
I mean, if that's true, then it's a good pick.
He runs a little bit. He's had a year to train in the same. JJ McCarthy. It's so funny how we choose to.
Yeah, Dobbins is a free agent, guys. He's a free agent.
JJ McCarthy is on the same VR headset training regiment that Jaden Daniels is, but obviously because we have not seen JJ McCarthy play yet, we haven't gotten 3 breathless articles about, oh my God, he's so locked in. He's so intelligent. There's never been a quarterback more dedicated to working hard than Jaden Daniels, just because we haven't seen McCarthy play yet.
He'll probably work out. Obviously, he's got a good head coach there as well, and they should upgrade their O-line. I mean, this is like seeing guys like Ray Davis go. Maybe should steer me to screw it. I'm not taking Richardson. He has downside anyways, and I just need to take a running back. But I don't know. With May and Stroud having 2 guys who are locked in starters, I think you can gamble on your third. Cam Ward makes sense too. But he went. Jackson Dart makes sense. I mean, Jackson Dart, dude, top what? Is he going to be like a top 15 pick in the draft?
He's my most drafted player thus far. So I hope
know,
so.
But is he going to be?
I think he's my flag plant. He's going to the New York Football Jets at pick 6. It's gonna be the Bo Nix thing where everyone's like, oh, he's gonna fall, and then the team who wants him just takes him.
They have no the Michael Penix thing, just like the surprise high draft
surprise team that could. I mean, either certainly works, but I do wonder. Like the Jets have no plan at quarterback. They got what's their plan? They're not.
Yeah, but
Tyrod, bro.
He's got job security in the sense that, if you actually want to win the Super Bowl, look at a team like the Eagles, where you just build your trenches, you become elite on both sides there, and you'll find the quarterback later, right?
Damn, bro.
I think it's a mistake to just take a quarterback at 6 overall because you need one, unless they're actually.
Who took Fields? This
valued.
Motherfucker. DS Council. What a dick.
Maybe he saved you, dude.
Oh, come on. This is the craziest. If Justin Fields, I don't even, when does NFL free agency open? When does
next
NFL
month
free agency open? March 12th. 2 years, $48 million with the team option for the 3rd year. Steelers and Justin Fields. He immediately goes up to the quarterback 7 or 8, like literally overnight.
Braylon and Isaac Rendo feel 2 good rolls of the dice because, I mean, they're basically like Algier, like Wright, like Davis, just at the tail end there. I guess Braylon's cheaper because
Isaiah Davis played
Davis.
Yeah.
Grendo should just not be cheaper. He's going to go up in my ranks too.
I've been taking Guarendo a little bit after we talked last week. I still think it's like insanely thin, but it's pretty good upside. Like if he hits the perfect parlay,
is he less thin than Blake Corum, dude?
Yes, much more thin, I think.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, he's got to fade because Jordan Mason is a restricted free agent, and I don't think he's going to get like a huge offer in free agency. So he could just.
I don't know if that's true. I think he played well. He
did not play well.
Mason, yeah, he did. He played well. He's not a pass catcher, but he was a dependable dude who could like tote the rock 20-something times. And it's a terrible free agent class. Like he literally might be the prize of free agency after Aaron Jones.
I definitely disagree that NFL teams would think that way. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. But
I think
I would think no.
Mason being a free agent is awesome for Grendo.
Well, he's a restricted free
Mason
agent.
was the 101 in battle royales for weeks. Yeah, I mean, dude, that is like that's like the Josh Jacobs of this year, where you're like, wow, that dude is now a 16th round pick, huh?
Jordan Mason. Let's see here. Let me pull up his advanced stuff. Jordan Mason, 3.3 yards after contact average. So that's pretty good. 37 missed tackles forced, 36% breakaway percentage. So
I have news, guys. Volume is a word, like when you can tote that much volume, that is a valuable thing to NFL teams. The Chargers might, you might straight up prefer Mason to Najee Harris. What does Najee do better than Jordan Mason?
He was drafted in the first round from Alabama.
What does he do better on the field?
I mean, it doesn't matter, though. It's how NFL teams view these guys. We see teams do this all the time.
We saw that like 10, 15 years ago. We don't see that no one was chomping at the bit to give CEH a shot just because he was a first round pick.
That's true. And he was really, really bad. I don't know.
I signed with the Saints, by the way.
I'm also fairly biased, not biased, but just the way I view players is like he was a terrible prospect. Jordan Mason was. He sat on the 49ers bench forever, never forced his way, and he was behind Elijah Mitchell, another guy who I never really thought was all that good.
He could be a worthy roll of the dice himself, Mitchell, because he got hurt.
He could. He that's actually true. He definitely could be. I don't know. I have started taking Grendo, though, just because I like to gamble on that athletic prototype. The obviously the most annoying thing would be Kyle Shanahan just says, "Oh, if I don't get DJ Giddens, if I don't get Brashard Smith, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I can't live with myself if I don't get one of these guys. Goddamn, all the quarterbacks went.
Yeah, hungry round.
Damn. I should have drafted with my last pick. I should have taken Darnold or Carr.
Yeah, you need to kind of see when that's coming. And I think Darnold is just like a far safer I probably should have saved the Mason talk because I think pairing Mason with Grendo is also really good because you have the free agent out. And I mean, I don't know, dude. What would you put the over under games played for CMC?
I mean, I feel like it is either I've been put in a real knot with the CMC thing. Like either he's the worst pick on the board and he plays like 4 games and he's not healthy, or CMC 100% guy you had to have, just stays healthy, absolutely smashes. 49ers win 13 games.
No, he's clearly massive upside, but what would you put the over under for games played for him?
I would just set it like a normal running back. I would say
you would set that's not
14 and a half.
Okay. Pretend it's not you. Pretend it's a book. I think you'd put it at like, I don't know, 11 and a half optimistic.
11. I mean, I would take the over on 11 and a half. Because either 11 and a half is 11 and a half is just way off one way or the other.
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
So I would take the over.
11 and a half is a lot for this guy.
I mean, he did, to be fair, he did come back from the Achilles thing. It was another injury that he had. No, it was obviously a compensation injury because he was not 100% healthy. But I do think in the end, something that, and I've had to work on this too in my own thought process for these drafts, is guys want to play.
Definitely, they want to.
More than, we always do this talk of like, oh, they're going to shut him down or whatever. And then you've got like Alvin Kamara getting 25 rushes for the 3-13, totally dead on their feet New Orleans Saints,
Let me put it this way. I think CMC, like, if someone had taken CMC at 106, instead of Derrick Henry,
I'd be like, at great pick.
yeah, that's reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Because CMC's upside is best player in fantasy.
Best player in fantasy.
And he's not as old as Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry doesn't have that upside to me. I mean, like that. What would it take for Derrick Henry to be the best player in fantasy? 25 touchdowns? Like, I don't, 30
Yeah, it's
touchdowns?
literally it's funny you said that. Literally my first thought in my head was 25 touchdowns. I mean, and people are going to listen to this and be like, these guys just hate Derrick Henry. They never learn anything. They're so dumb. Saquon Barkley, who we're now taking with the 1.2 last year, crazy record-breaking season. He's going to have the most rushing yards of all time. You guys are so fucking stupid for not taking Saquon Barkley. Scored 1.5 fewer per game than Dalvin Cook's best ever fantasy season. If you do not catch the ball, it is it's just unreal how hard it is for you to truly kill in fantasy football. 48.7%.
O-line was not that good last year. It's actually bad.
The 49ers O-line?
Yeah.
Well, the one guy, Trent Williams, was out all year.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. People are hungry for Purdy in these drafts, by the way.
I am too.
It's a little sticker shock to see 88th overall.
I actually did like a total 180.
He was like my most drafted quarterback last year too.
I've done a total 180 on Purdy, where I was such a Purdy hater, pumpkin Purdy. He stinks. He played so well last year in like adverse circumstances, like his like PFF grades.
Oh, he's good.
Stuff. Yeah, no, he is. He actually is.
He's good. It's just, I mean, look, he's not that different than Goff, who goes there. He's like 5 picks after Mahomes is also insane.
I mean, Goff should go ahead of Mahomes if we're being honest.
I don't know. The quality of the defenses matters a lot for how elite your quarterback's fantasy season will go. Yeah, people racing for the stack is definitely happening here. I actually think running back turned out okay for me. Let's see here.
Actually, kind of hate mine. I didn't get a veteran stopgap anywhere when I wanted them. I didn't get like an Austin Eckler or anything anywhere.
We're going to go a little B strange in this one with Ingram being a free agent. My running back room turned out to be Pacheco and Dobbins. So, like, you hope that these two guys are starting running backs week 1. Jerome Ford, also the hope for him, just like obviously downside on all 3 of these guys. And then Braylon Allen, Garendo, Roshan, and Kendre, I think all have like a decent mix of upside.
Kendre was my most drafted player for a little bit.
It's a pretty good pick for my team, and Roshan could easily be a slam dunk. If the Bears do not draft a running back,
yeah, he and Swift are fading. I mean, they're fading. They're Neo in the Matrix, dodging.
They
all
need
those
to
bullets
fade
right now.
They need to fade, but look, injuries happen. Roshan availability, and if you had to comp someone to David Montgomery on the Bears, it's Roshan. It's not Swift. So,
right.
Dalton Schultz and Bretton Strange, we're getting a little bit of division stack going on in the AFC South here with Stroud, Richardson, Schultz, and Strange. Obviously, we have a sick wide receiver room. A little bit of division correlation happening there as well. Chase and Flowers, Wilson and Waddle. Overall, not my favorite team, but I think the running back room is pretty reasonable, especially with the upside possibilities of some of these guys. The biggest question will be how many running back points do I get weeks 1 through 6? And if all of these guys are...
Well, I would think the opposite, Liam. You should be worried about your running back points weeks 14 on because you have a bunch of old guys.
These guys are all young.
Well, you have I guess, let me rephrase that. You have a bunch of guys who I think could play themselves out of jobs in Pacheco, Dobbins, Ford, and Braylon.
Right, but
I probably would have mixed in some rookies there.
The hope is that a couple of these guys are the starters. Like, Garendo is the 49ers starter. Braylon is the Jets starter. Roshan is the Bears starter. Kendre is the Saints starter.
Well, Roshan probably won't be the Bears starter, right?
Injuries happen.
I guess he could. I mean, maybe Ben Johnson is just like DeAndre Swift. We work together. I'm not a fan of your game. we got rid of you for a conditional draft pick for a reason.
He could be traded.
Man, I am tilting the quarterbacks in this room because I really do not want to go in with a quarterback room of just Bo Nix and Jordan Love.
I think that's totally viable. I wouldn't force the third.
I don't know, I'm about to take Daniel Jones, bro.
No, that's a really, really bad pick. That's like really, really bad. You should gamble on anything else. Like, let me see. What would I do in your shoes?
I'm probably going to take Keaton Mitchell.
I would probably take another running back looking at your room. Yeah.
This team's okay. Whatever. I'm going to take Keaton. Yeah. This is a C-. Knicks and Mims, quad Jordan Love stack, Komet divisional, Rome divisional, whatever. I don't know. Been better, been worse.
I'm going to go with Mason Taylor. Seems to be getting hype.
Jason Taylor's son, bro.
Hell yeah, dude.
I recently learned that.
So yeah, I'm two okay teams. I don't want to force Burrow on every Jamar Chase team, Who you think are some of the worst picks right now?
That's a good question. I guess I gotta sort by ranking. I think Terry McLaurin is the worst pick overall. I think
that's absurd. Like, that's like saying I think the guy who's a very safe pick is the worst pick.
Yeah, I just don't think Terry's very good. He was like getting out-earned in volume by Noah Brown and Zach Ertz, and that is like not a great second-round profile. I mean, maybe he scores 13 touchdowns again, and I'm wrong, but that is who I think the most overpriced
you're in this
guy is.
Bad boy, right?
Yes, yeah.
Good. I don't know how you could say that when, like, just next to Terry, by ADP, Garrett Wilson goes, who disappointment. JSN goes. That's some wish casting for sure. Some of these running backs go higher than him. Malik Neighbors, quarterback, could literally throw for like 3,000 yards again.
Could.
So I don't know. Like, to me, if your definition of a bad pick is that you need to be a home run, like you need to win you the league individually, okay, that's not going to be Terry. But if your definition of a good pick is a guy who will probably be around 1,200 yards or so, will probably be around 8 to 12 touchdowns, possibly much better than that in like a nut run out season, I think he's a good safe pick, right? Like, safety has value in best ball somewhat.
Sure. I mean, I would prefer probably not to do it with like my second round pick, but sure. I mean, I just think he's being very overdrafted relative to his median, and I can make better or similar.
Nice. I would say it's you're more reacting to like the fact that he's just ahead of some of these names.
Yeah, I just think in my truth serum, I think I take Evans, Worthy, Moore,
I think those guys
Wilson.
are similar, but like the thing is, someone needs to slot in first, right? And why is Terry slotting in first? He's safer, in people's minds, and it's the Jaden Daniels effect. So it's like,
Yeah.
look, if you want to say he's in the same tier as those guys, that's fine to me. But that doesn't make you one of the worst picks on the board just because you're the first in the tier. And I think full fading someone in that tier is risky because they could be, if we all think that tier is somewhat valuable.
I'm not full fading anyone this year.
You're going full 8%?
8% of every guy.
Absolutely not for me. Never.
I think so. So not
I'm not
right
fading
now.
everyone, but I'll have some bigger or slighter fades.
I think the likely worst pick on the board, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I love him. No, Cam Scattaboo. There's a chance that this guy is going in the 130s, and he might be like a 6th round pick.
Yeah, quite a bit of the
NFL
rookies are
draft.
drawing live to be the worst picks on the board.
Could be a guy I really like. Could be Devin Neal. I really like Devin Neal, and he could end up just being a big faller.
Ginty, 16th overall. He could just live at the 106, depending where he lands.
He is going. It's so funny. Like some things in fantasy football get double counted, and then some things, a lot of things get double counted. But then sometimes the thing we all knew was going to happen happens, and then the market acts like, well, there's no way we never could have anticipated this. It would just be impossible. And then Ashton Ginty projections are going to come out, rankings are going to come out, and we're going to be like, oh, holy shit. Genty is projected for 320 carries and 64 targets. And, oh, actually, we probably should just take him ahead of St. Brown and Nico.
I don't know if I'll ever do that, but ahead of Neighbors.
Rashee Rice is a really bad pick at ADP right now. I think he should be going a round later than where he's going.
I have him ranked quite a bit lower, just with the, all these guys like CMC, Henry, Rice, these guys who have like catastrophic downside, but also best pick on the board upside.
So my hot take is that Worthy being as good as he is actually a pretty significant ding to Rashee Rice's ceiling.
I don't think if Rice is Rice, I don't agree because I think Kelsey's out of there. And so there's room for two.
So my take is just that Worthy is better. He's just a better, more efficient football player. And so then that moves Rashee Rice. And yeah.
I think Worthy is better at some assets of the game. He might develop that, but I don't think he's shown anything on the field to be better.
I think he probably has. I think leading the entire NFL playoffs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns is pretty good.
Okay, well, when you're trailing by 30 in the Super Bowl, you're gonna get some bombs to make up for that.
He led the playoffs in those statistics before they got down. I think he had 10 more receptions than
if Rice was healthy and Worthy was healthy. Rice would be a first-round pick, and Worthy would be a 4th-round pick.
I'd probably have none of Rice at that price, and I am a Chiefs slappy.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a mistake, but it's like
the other thing is
what you're saying like when Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill were healthy, if we're gonna just do some basic comps, I don't want Kelce ever in Rice's.
Well, the thing is I think it's a lot different because Mahomes is bad now.
And I think the way the NFL works is, look, if Worthy starts destroying teams deep, guess what's going to happen? That's not going to happen anymore. They're going to sit 3 safeties back there. They're going to say, beat us laterally, which Worthy can do, kind of in a gadgety way.
No, that's what Worthy did
Rice's game. See, Trey McBride in the 3rd compared to Bowers in the 2nd feels pretty good, too.
I mean, I have them both ranked ahead of ADP.
I'm kind of like just not. I'm trying when I get my McBride, I'm trying not to get it at ADP because he is a risky pick just in the consideration of what is available, but hard to resist one of my brand guys, you know.
True. That's how I feel about Bowers. Like the Bowers price is objectively not that great, but man, it's just like this fucking guy could outscore every other tight end by 5 points a game. Like imagine if they get one of these dusty veteran quarterbacks who's better than Minshew. Like imagine if Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers is quarterbacking the Raiders. What is Bowers' projection? I mean,
What is the
insane.
difference to you between Terry and DJ Moore, by the way? Because I think they're somewhat similar.
I just think Terry is like a slightly better football player. That's really it.
You mean Moore?
Yes. Sorry. I think Moore is slightly better. Yeah. Moore has done the thing that Terry has not done. Terry has run super hot on the touchdowns. Moore has been a 30% target share guy.
They're letting me get my BBM team back together here.
Wow. You'll love to see it. Man, I was not intending to do. Oh, and this fucking guy, I'm not going to take him, but this guy next to me is going to get the nuts. He's going to get
Jaden.
Yeah. Well, it would just be stupid. It would be stupid for me to take Jaden there.
I don't think it's stupid. You could take Jaden in any draft, but taking it strictly because the Terry drafters next to you would be a stupid reason.
Yes. Yeah. To be like, I don't want Jay Genzel to have a good stack. So I'm gonna
and look, honestly, there's like a solid like 35%, maybe to like 50% of the drafting population who do think that way. They're like, like the guy who took Joe Burrow naked that last draft. He probably saw me with Chase in the 1 hole, and I wasn't even going to get him because the guy in the 2 hole had T. So like he would have gotten Burrow on the wrap. But like, yeah, people do. They're like, I don't want that guy to get him. As if they could control every single draft and stop everyone getting the value stacks, you know?
Right.
No, this would feel like pretty sick. Puka, Terry, Jaden, Lad in there, you know.
It's
Joey
pretty
G
good
saying thank you, brother.
I am done arguing with people about Terry McLaurin. I've made my opinions very clear. He is not a significant volume earner compared to other
mix. Like these three, fine. Tacking on Mixon, no.
Hey man, this is the guy who won the Fast Puppy, brother. You can't teach him shit about best ball, man. He won the Fast Puppy. He had 5 wide receivers on that team. He had 4 quarterbacks and 4 tight ends, brother.
Are you saying someone drafting like him did that, or this specific username?
No, I'm saying this specific user.
Love it. I want to see the 5-5-5-5.
5-5-5 is a sick build.
You will project for the most points if you want to build the 5-5-5-5. Those 5 quarterbacks do a lot of lifting.
It's true. That's true.
So if gifted, I would take Hurts. I don't think it will happen, but because I think Davis would take Hurts.
Nice. No, I wouldn't. I need a running back too bad.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, look, I don't want to harp on the Terry thing either, but this is some nice safety right here. Wow, we got to sweat 2 people. Look, Marvin, dude, I know you took Marvin to get Kyler, so don't get cute on me here. I will snap take Kyler 57. Just do what you want. But Goff is coming pick 64 if you do it. Kyler Goff. Oh, he's making me sweat, man. He's going Hurts. What do you think?
I mean, there you go.
Wow. Cortland Sutton over Jalen Hurts. Absurd. Can't do that. Pick 57 Hurts to go with Smith, man. Wow. I would have taken Hurts over Cortland Sutton just because it's Cortland Sutton. Although Sutton, dude, being a free agent,
he probably just resigns though, right?
no, I don't know. Like, I think the Bills, the Chargers, the Texans, like these teams are going to try to get him.
I'm looking up his
Look,
track right
why
now.
would the Steelers trade away George Pickens? They're not going to do that. And George
Sutton is not a free agent.
I'm pretty sure he said to, let's see here. Maybe it's like an effective free agent.
The Broncos can save $6.9 million by cutting him pre-June 1st. They can save $14 million designating him as a post-June 1st release.
Yeah. His cap hit is $20 million. That's why he's a free agent.
I mean, that's kind of realistic for a guy, a wide receiver 1.5 level
Paying
production.
Cortland Sutton $20 million is not a winning maneuver. You need to just draft someone, roll with what you got. We almost always see the Cortland Suttons of the world with that type of
Sutton if Sutton is cut, then Marvin Mims is being underdrafted by 25 picks.
Well, and the Broncos are going to take a running back.
Then Marvin Mims is being underdrafted by if they do not take a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds and they cut Sutton, he's being underdrafted by 35 picks.
This is a good one to go Montgomery because I want Smith over Jameson Williams.
I was going to have to take Montgomery. This team is going to fucking suck at running back.
Montgomery, I don't know. He needs some things to go well for him to work out, but I don't think this is the case. It is kind of crazy. Troy Franklin scored that like 60-yard touchdown against the Bills to start that playoff game and then was benched. I think.
I'm team. I don't think Sutton gets cut. I think they made the playoffs. Sutton was their only like competent wide receiver until they started playing Mims. I don't think they cut Sutton because this is their last year. They won't owe him anything after this. Like what?
I think the Broncos, dude, they got to build for the future a little bit. That's not Sutton. You did the thing. You made the playoffs this year, right? Your quarterback looked good. So it's just not responsible as a team to spend $20 million on your cap on Sutton. Like
$20 million for a wide receiver is not really. That is like pretty reasonable.
That is a lot. That is a lot for 1 year of Cortland Sutton. And the thing, and Sutton's 29. And the thing is, the Broncos are going to try to keep together this defense and O-line. So you can't do everything. You don't get to keep Sutton and keep the O-line and keep the defense. And
I mean, that's like less money than Christian Kirk and Michael Pittman Jr. and Terry McLaurin make.
It's really irrelevant. You don't get to keep everything. And the Broncos have a lot of players they want to keep, right? They're going to have to pay these O-line. They're going to have to pay the defense. I think Sutton, in all likelihood, I mean, either he'll be restructured, right? And
he probably would like to restructure because he doesn't want it.
He was seen after the playoff game talking to Josh Allen, effectively saying, "Come get me." So, that would seem like no, he does not.
I don't think we have it confirmed on the record that he said, "Come and get me."
I mean, that's what it seemed like, and it would be kind of unusual for them to have like a minute and a half conversation post game. It's not like they're close, Sutton and Josh. This is hey bro, let's go win the Super Bowl together, right?
I think you're very likely wrong about this.
Devin Silver not happy that Devin the Dude just took the naked burrow here. I don't know, man. I think the Broncos are very live to go Amika or Luther Burden, although they probably go ahead of them. And yeah, he's either getting restructured and going to be way less on the cap, or
I'd say a restructure is like, I don't know, 5 times more likely or something than just being cut outright.
Am I going to ruin this team by taking my first share of Debo?
I would take Downs.
I might do it.
Yeah, I have Downs ranked ahead of Debo.
Mahomes isn't crazy either. Fuck it. All right, Debo. Fat Debo, dude. Welcome in.
Fat Debo, brother. All right, so the question is, do I try to push Caleb to 103 with 2 Bears wide receivers?
No.
Yeah, I probably can't.
I mean, you can, but it's like, does the player you have at 90 so much more important to you than the player at 103?
There's a pretty big gap, I think, from Aaron Jones to the rest of the guys, but I don't really have a fallback quarterback option if he goes. And someone will probably just do it to be a fucking dickhead.
My team is the all gravity team. Just so much mass.
Can't believe you took Debo, man. That's so out of character.
I particularly don't like to take such a risky pick on a team that is like really nice, especially with like a falling value. But I don't know. It was a nice ADP value. Trading could be good for him in all likelihood. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Jones, man, he's really not that different than Montgomery and goes 2 rounds later.
And I was starting out the season thinking, oh, it's really likely that the Vikings move on from him, but they are so hard up for draft picks, and he will probably have a pretty comfortable salary demand for them. I think that he will probably just be a Viking. And I did not start out the offseason thinking that.
And you have an effective rookie where you, like, when you have an effective rookie, just having the veteran presence in the huddle is kind of nice at running back to like pick up blitzes. And we know it ain't Ty Chandler, man.
Yeah, they do not want to play Ty Chandler. They don't even really want to play Cam Akers. Taking Caleb at 90 there was gross, but after Purdy and Mayfield win, I was like, shit, I got to do it.
This is not the right way to think about it. You need to look at what are the contracts on their star O-linemen and their star defenders. And then, what kind of wide receivers are they going to get? It's just not that, like, look, guys, at 29, that was like Keenan Allen a year or 2 away from getting traded away for a 4th-round pick. At 29, that was like a year or 2 away from Stephon Diggs getting traded. So I understand Sutton just had a good year. But the reality, Amari Cooper, a year or 2 away from 29, goes as a 15th-round pick. So unless you think Sutton is just going to age so well, you're living in the past. And NFL teams have wisened up to this, and he's just not going to be worth $20 fucking million on the cap. He's not,
I think there's a pretty good chance he earns $20 million of on-field performance.
I don't know. I guess we'll revisit this come post June 1st.
Fuck, I gotta take a shitty dog shit running back here. I hate this.
ETN over Pacheco. I don't know, man. ETN has major upside, though.
ETN, I had just memory wiped how bad ETN was last year. Like, I was like, oh, ETN was fine last year. And then I looked it up yesterday. He was so not fine. Like, unbelievably not fine. Like, so bad.
Like, going Goddard to pair with Hurts is nice, but I don't know. Just pairing together like 300 targets at tight end between McBride and Njoku and calling it a day feels really effing good.
Love to see it. Njoku, I almost took Njoku.
So like this, there. Like the young Moolah drafter here took Ramondre instead of Goff. when he had Amon-Ra, J-Mo, and Laporta. You know, this is what we were talking about with passing on Caleb. This guy just ripped naked Goff in his face.
Mm-hmm.
And he had Gibbs 101 though. So I guess he didn't see that. Not
this
naked.
This guy is he's a character. All razor 33. No predicting what that man.
Well, he took Gibbs 101, so like not an egregious stack. But that's why you just take, like, look, when you triple invest in the stack, you take him, you know he's going in this round or this round. So like why are we gambling that?
Yeah, I guess it would have been to take Matthew Golden, who I didn't even really need. Although I do like Matthew Golden a lot.
Big Hawk, pick 87. I don't know.
I moved Hawkinson up in my rank. I was just looking at some data yesterday.
He's good.
Well, the thing is they totally killed Naylor snaps once he came back. I think they're very committed to getting him the ball.
Yes. I don't know. Njoku, Smith. I guess he's going close enough to these guys, but he should probably be just going in this range.
I think JJ McCarthy's good. I expect them to be
I drafted
better.
so much of him last year, dude. Such a letdown that run out.
Hawkinson?
No. McCarthy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he was my most.
And the people drafting volumes of Sam Darnold before McCarthy got hurt, incredibly bad process, good result. Right? Like, which is part of the game. But McCarthy for sure was going to be the starter.
Hey man, everyone who won last year, sharpest people on the block.
Specifically, people who got 30th in BBM or whatever I got.
No, I think everyone who won in best ball last year is good at best ball, and everyone who lost is terrible, and they should not play anymore. And I think there's just no way around it. I don't think there's any other way to view last year's results other than it separated the cream from the crop.
Add that one to your list of accolades, Davis. So you can mention that one.
I was not a War Room silver medalist. I actually didn't even do
I was
the
talking
War
about you
Room last
citing
year.
Razor here. So obviously Stroud would have been a good pick for me, but we're drafting with the Rays. What I was trying to say is this happens a lot at the back end of the draft when you don't go wide receiver early. Like going McBride, going Montgomery is rounds 8 through 10. All the best picks feel like running back. And so all of a sudden I have a 1-4-3-2 where Nico, Smith, Debo, okay, but we got to figure it out. Gene T, Montgomery, Aaron Jones, Swift probably can stop at 5 with that. McBride and Njoku, I'm stopping at 2 there. So I'm going to go volume at wideout. Don't know who my second quarterback will be with Stroud gone. Don't really know who my second quarterback will be either. You can go 3 or 2 with Hurts. I'll probably go 2.
I am actually probably only going to do 2 quarterbacks on this team, I think, because I'm going to have to absolutely pound running back. I'm going to have to hit on like one of, like, if this team doesn't get this year's Chuba Hubbard, then it is dead in the water.
I went Travis Hunter, wide receiver 4. Why not? Like, I mean, I don't know. Trey Harris, when's this guy going to go in the draft?
It really depends on who you ask. I don't really like Trey Harris based on he just looks like he runs so goddamn slow, but he had 5.29 yards per route run last year for Ole Miss, which is like I can't even explain how good that is.
Very disingenuous way to cite my team, but it is true. It is true. Travis Hunter, dude, what would you set the over-under fantasy points for him? 0.5 point. What will the underdog lines be for him August 29th?
90 fantasy points. Something like that.
We're taking
Does that sound right?
How many?
90?
90?
That's a lot for a guy who's not projected to play.
I mean,
the
90 is
position.
pretty terrible, right? That is what pretty sure that's like, let's see. Let's pull up some players here.
I mean, he's not projected to play.
Keon scored 97.
Yeah. Think that is right about accurate.
Let's see. Bateman scored 152.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He's definitely not scoring 152. If you're taking Hunter, you're just hoping that
Leggett scored 100.
That feels about right. 90 might have even been high.
Well, the nice thing about Hunter's 90 is you hope that it is not an even distribution. You hope it's not like 5, 5, 5, 5.
Yes. You don't need 6.2, 4.3. You need 0, 0, 0, 21, 0, 0, 19.7.
Yeah. Romeo Dobbs, man, I don't know. This feels like also kind of like hitting a double.
I mean, I probably would have taken Hollywood, but Dobbs
maybe hitting a single.
Dobbs, I think Dobbs is it's picking up a buck you saw on the street, picking up a nickel. You know, you can't, it's not gonna change your life, but you're not losing anything on that transaction.
Yes, any player gets points for pick 6.
Oh, I've not been able to get an answer on that. I know they get points for fumble recoveries. I didn't know about pick 6.
If you score touchdowns, like if you score on a kickoff return,
kick returns count. Yeah.
Yeah, so pick 6s count. That's my understanding of it, guys, based on kick returns counting and punt returns counting. Possibly I'm wrong, but I don't see like touchdowns are touchdowns.
Emwald is saying that I'm saying Romeo Dubs' name's wrong. No, it's Dubs. So
what do you
go
listen to 30 receptions? Where are you drafting him? Probably where he's going, right?
That is a good question. God, this is why you don't. Fuck, man.
Recent news on Hunter is that he will do wide receiver combine drills if required, whatever the hell that means.
How do you say Romeo Dobbs' last name?
Cam Ward as my QB2 feels pretty good. You think Cam Ward goes to the Titans?
I think Cam Ward goes to the Browns.
No, I don't think they go.
That's the just like the most.
It's just like, dude, when you have so much dead effing money from Watson, what team is he going to play for, you know?
I mean, that's the thing is what do you do with a team that is that bad and that hopeless? Like, what do you do? For fantasy, it's kind of a good spot for him because he's got the wide receivers to throw. He's got Njoku, he's got Judy, he's got Tillman.
Well, if a good quarterback lands in Cleveland, like that's pretty good. I mean, if he does go to the Browns, that'd be, like I have Njoku paired with him. That'd feel pretty nice. This Restrepo character, he's supposed to go pretty high, right?
Yeah, I've got him ranked a little bit ahead of ADP. I don't love Restrepo. He's fine. He's one of those guys that I just have ranked higher than ADP because a lot of the guys that go after him are dust balls that I'm not interested in at all. I'm
going Dobbs and Wicks, which feels like a good pairing where
I do that a lot.
You know, obviously week to week it can work. It's a bet on Jordan Love, which I do want to be making that bet, similar to the Stroud reaction. I kind of want to be buying the dip on these guys off of the negative bias. And all likelihood, these guys should be, the wide receiver, some order of wide receiver 2 to 3, maybe even 1 of the Packers. Although the Packers are definitely going to want to add a guy. I just don't like, who could they add? They could add Hollywood, maybe.
I think Hollywood probably just comes back to Kansas City. But the Packers seem to be, the Packers should be big game hunting. They should be trying to get a real difference. I don't know if they will.
Game you hunt?
Well, they'd have to trade.
Higgins, by the way, I think it said he's going to sign the tag.
Well, so let me get the name right. Chris Traub posted this in my Discord. The Bengals can negotiate a trade with another team for compensation. For example, the Chiefs tagged Dee Ford and traded him for a second-round pick under the same franchise tag that T. Higgins is on. The 2 first-round picks are applicable if there's no negotiation of compensation. The team has a contract. T has agreed. Bengals can match or receive 2 first. But basically, did
they do the tag that's the 2 first tag?
The non-exclusive, yes. So basically,
he's not worth 2 first. He's a good player.
No, but another team can say, "Hey, T, we'll give you this much money." The Bengals can say, "Okay, we'll allow you to sign him for that contract for a 3rd-round pick," and T. Higgins can say yes. The other team can say yes. The Bengals can say yes. So it's definitely not a done deal that T. Higgins is a Bengal,
unless the Bengals really think this rebuild's going to take a while. It doesn't make any sense to get rid of T. Higgins. It's not like they have like guys in the wings here. Like, yes, let's see what these.
Jermaine Burton did not work out.
Jermaine Burton's going to the casino after every game, and they're still having to give this guy shots.
Yoshi Voss, like the worst target earning wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, unless you're a believer in who is the guy drafted ahead of Yoshi Voss?
A lot of guys, right?
No, the same class. They took 2 guys. But the other guy got hurt. I can't remember.
Trenton Irwin?
No, he's not a rookie. It was Charlie Jones, I think.
Charlie Jones? Yeah. Charlie Jones was like a punt returner guy who's on the team.
No, he was supposed to be slot, so I've gambled on him every year.
Bengals franchise draft encyclopedia.
Yeah, Charlie Jones. He was drafted in like the 4th or the 5th, and then Yoshi Voss was the 6th.
Yeah, Charlie Jones, 131 overall. Chase Brown, they hit on that.
I mean, Amari Cooper, dude, pick 177. That's at least picking up $1. He has ups. He could be the Bills wide receiver 1 too. That's in the range. 15th round pick.
He's a free agent, right? Or is he under contract?
In all, I would strongly I view him like Hollywood, where very likely back with
very likely to return.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think I've taken Cooper yet.
Yeah, no, those are thrown interceptions, Devil. Not
there is no answer in the I've looked. There's no answer.
I'm sure they're trying to figure it out because they don't. I'm sure, like, didn't Gronk have an interception on one of those, or Dez on like one of those like fluke plays where they're?
I want to say Dez maybe did. I think maybe I remember that.
I don't think they scored, but they did have the interceptions. But like, what's the difference between Trey McBride recovering a fumble and, well, see that like it's possibility there's a coding error, but you would think that they would have this work out. I think a pick 6 in all likelihood is treated like a punt return touchdown.
I think that I think I very likely agree with that, but it definitely has not been confirmed. We need confirmation one way or the other that is the case, that we do not have.
Yeah, I think I might as well go Shedeur on this one.
I was about to take him if you didn't.
Just really nice value. Hurts is never a consistent bill of health.
Man, I am so fucked. This team
Will they
is
get points for the pick
so
part of it?
bad.
Definitely not, because that's not a reception. That is an interception.
Tough scene. I think they so I wonder I'm just gonna say right now you're very likely to get the 6 points, and it'll be the most disappointing 6 points you've ever gotten in your life.
Yeah, you'll be like, damn, he just ran 80 yards.
He just ran 80 yards. I got 6 points, and my team did not advance. Yeah. I moved Hunter way down in the rankings update that I just pushed to everyone.
I thought last week you were saying you had him way higher in your ranking. So you're swaying in the wind with him a little bit.
I did. So I mean, for a while he was going like at a pretty reasonable.
Let's look at the board here. Keenan Allen or Travis Hunter? I think that's close. Probably slight edge to Keenan.
I've got him right behind. I've got him right behind Bond, who I took at 151.
That's kind of crazy to me, but you're trying to value safety a lot more. Like Hunter versus Leggett, you know.
I just think the balance of probability right now, having thought about it, is the most likely thing is that he spends most of his time playing cornerback. If he was a wide receiver, I might take him ahead of Tet.
Yeah, and I mean that is not an answer we'll have for a while. And look, if you're down by 14 plus in the fourth quarter and you have Travis Hunter, are you making him sit on the bench when he's telling you, put me on the effing field? Are you doing that?
You know, I frankly just do not. I frankly just don't have the answer.
No, as a coach, are you doing that? He's saying, put me on the effing field. I'm the best wideout on this team. Yeah,
I think as a coach, you're not playing him because your GM has given you very specific instructions on what to do.
I don't know. I think it's hard to tell your guy unless he's like a patriot, which Vrabel will have no problem doing the dumb thing. Be like, no, sit your ass down. You're a corner. We got guys for this.
All right, I'm just going to take Derek Carr. I need another quarterback.
Like, Travis Hunter, I'd rather be around 8% than 30.
Sure. I think that's valid. Yeah.
But someone's going to draft him 150 times out of 150. People just do this.
Right. And I think if you wanted to take a huge stance on a guy, there are way worse guys to take huge stances on, right? Because you could see so clearly how you win. Right? It's very evident how you win. Like, it turns out the best wide receiver in the class just played wide receiver.
I don't know. Mitchell
wouldn't be that surprising.
That's like a pretty good time to roll the dice.
I almost took him there. Yeah, I've got a shit ton of him actually.
Like I do slightly prefer Alec Pierce over Mitchell, but 40 pick difference.
Oh, I like 80 Mitchell a lot. But maybe I am on an island there.
What if Hunter's the guy you need week 17, dude?
If Hunter is the guy you need in week 17, then
kind of like Jameson Williams,
I'll be staying poor, I suppose. Which, what are you gonna do? Can't do anything about it.
How do you view these three dudes? Gibson, Shipley, Estime, they're all so close to me. I think I'm going Shipley this one, but
I've been doing a little bit of Shipley recently.
They all have their flavor there. But Will like on a team that has four dudes who ideally are consistent, who knows what Swift is.
Right.
Gambling on the upside of Shipley feels good.
I wanted Tolbert on this team. All right, I'm going to take Juwan Johnson. I think he's potentially going to be the Denver tight end. That's the rumor on the street.
You think what? Juwan's going to be what?
Sounds like Peyton wants him in Denver. That's been the reporting that I've read. Don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, I mean, dude, tight end was a wasteland for them.
Well, it was a wasteland because they were playing like 9 guys. Like let's check on our old friend.
No, they weren't. They were playing Troutman the most. He's just not good.
Razor 33 did add Sam Darnold to his quarterback room of Jared Goff, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and he's rocking the Kyle Pitts, Cole Kmet, Dalton Schultz build. So he's cooking pretty good over there.
Oh, 4 quarterbacks, dude. Pretty nice.
That's what he said, man. You never know who's going to be healthy in the playoffs, so you need 4 quarterbacks and 4 tight ends.
Let's see that 5-5-5-5. He's got his 5 wide receivers, so he just needs 6 wideouts. So
I've been noticing a lot of Nick Westbrook-Akine mentions. People really into the old.
I think I mentioned him on stream with you, and like sometimes that's how it starts. Just like a little thought someone says, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, that guy scored a lot of touchdowns. And the truth is, guys like Nick Westbrook is, yes, he could be a great pick. He could do that again, but in most likelihood, it's just kind of like it will be a different guy scoring those touchdowns this year.
He's not even a free agent. Yeah, I was gonna say he's like he could just like pretty easily just not be in football next year.
He's not gonna not be in football.
He's just like a total replacement level guy. He's DeMarcus Robinson. He's Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I
think I'm gonna rock the 3-6-9-2.
I think I'm going to take another running. I think I'm going to do 3-7-7-3 because I need another running back because my running backs stink.
I could stop at 8 wideouts, but might as well add another dart there and get another running back. Feels nice with some older dudes who have job issue security too.
Right. I probably maybe even shouldn't have taken Carr. I'm going to take...
The Lions could totally draft the Montgomery replacement. Maybe not for this year.
Oh, definitely.
No,
that's very live.
Is Lad McConkey getting drafted this year? Does someone just ask?
Yeah, he's a second round pick, brother.
He's getting drafted.
People love themselves some Lad.
How do you view Estime, dude?
I'm just very concerned that he was a healthy scratch for their playoff game.
That maybe had a little bit to do with
Peyton. It was a styles make fights thing, and they knew they weren't going to be able to run the ball very effectively.
Yeah, like Peyton has the ability to look in the mirror, and he, in all likelihood, knew they were not going to just they're not running out the quarter against the game against the Bills.
True.
And year 2, so I don't know. Could be Tank Bigsby-ish. Plus Javonte free agent? I forget.
Yes.
Yeah. I think
unrestricted free
Singletary
agent.
just went. He's a pretty good pick, man.
Yeah, he is.
Let's do Trey Tucker on this one. Hope he pairs with Shadur.
Yeah, that's pretty possible. I'm going to take Elijah Moore because that's just always the slappy idiot wide receiver.
You need to stop. That is the worst thing to do in the big board is just to hammer the same dude who has quite low weekly and ceiling upside. This is what he's been. I would take
90 points.
For?
You
would take 90 points, yeah, but the thing is, the Elijah Moores get benched all the time. You should be mixing in the other guys.
Well, he is a free agent, so hopefully.
Okay, well, and he's not a half-point PPR fit.
I mean, most of these guys are not NFL fits in the 20th round. He's going to score more points than Naylor.
comparing like taking Jerome Ford at pick 140 is not the same thing as Elijah Moore because one is a running back, right? And I don't know. It's just like you're trying to hit a single consistently in the 20th round.
Elijah Moore is pretty
The
good.
same
Pretty
single.
good single.
The same single, right? I don't know. I would advise not to do that, but that's me. Let us know in the comments, guys. Should you hammer the same 20th round pick or should you mix it up? To me, mix it up. But Pepper Tony, probably on Davis's side.
I mean, I think I have like 4% Elijah Moore. Normally,
No,
I'm
you
just not.
don't. You've taken him on every draft. Pull up the exposure.
Drafts completed, exposure. No, I do have a lot more. I have $79 of entry fees, 13.2%. Let me filter that by 25 or by 10. How the fuck do I do it?
Guys, like Elijah, like what you're hoping for just doesn't like he just doesn't seem like he's going to score 10 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, where it's like Trey Tucker, who I took, or Darius Slayton. These guys both have weak winning ability where they just catch an 80-yard touchdown. They also have like 6 to 8 touchdowns in a good season for them. Elijah Moore,
a famous best baller once told me that, you know, not every pick needs to win. Sometimes you can value guys' floors.
That is true, but Elijah Moore seems like his distribution of points is going to be 4.6, 6.2, 3.8, a rare 11, you know?
I would take 3 11 balls from Elijah Moore, I think. I'd be perfectly fine.
I think he's fine to mix in. I think he's fine to be weighted towards. I would just be really wanting to mix. I mean, look, maybe he's a Chief. Maybe he's Rashee Rice replacement where Rice doesn't play at all.
I'm kind of thinking a 6 spot for him actually might be the Jaguars, Green Bay. But I'm kind of thinking the Jaguars could be sick.
I think they would just do Parker Washington if they wanted to go that route.
I think I believe he is out of contract. I need to look this up. Parker Washington is. Oh no, he's not. He's in the last year of his deal.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you watching these 2 drafts. Make sure to like and subscribe to both of our streams. Looks like Davis got a new fancy Underdog hat. Still waiting for mine in the mail. Underdog.
I got this one at an IRL event. I don't think they're mailing these out.
What was that? Tell me about it.
They had a Super Bowl party here in St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, and you went?
I did. I left the house.
The compound. Wow.
I left the compound. Went and got a hat, got some tote bags, so I can.
Was it good? Was it good, or if you could go back in time, would you not have gone?
Oh no, it was super cool. Yeah, it was a good time. I mean, didn't love that the Chiefs were getting destroyed, but you know, a little.
Oh, you went for the game.
For the game.
Wow. Yeah. No, if the Bills were in the Super Bowl, I would not have gone to the Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. Like the Eagles could repeat. Like they're just so good.
They're so good. Yeah. I don't know what their like contractual, you know, they owe this guy. I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff.
Pay the O-line, pay the D-line. The rest will work out.
Yeah. And AJ Brown and Devonta Smith are under contract. So
it's really
Jalen Hurts is under contract.
Commanders could beat him, though. Commanders could beat him for sure.
Yeah. Commanders have a bad defense, so that they will have to fix. And their offense, they just lost their best offensive lineman, too, in the conference championship game.
Their O-line was not good, so.
O-line was not good, and they just lost their best one, who was on a rookie deal, I believe.
Well, they got some money. They got a lot of money, and they're going to fix that out.
I feel like the Commanders could actually really be one of those teams like, oh, man, they're so good. Jane Daniels is the best, and then actually somehow they're like worse next year.
No, I don't agree at all. I think Jaden Daniels is him.
Well, you've got Terry McLaurin, so you've got this great wide receiver, and
Yeah, I think you're literally just trying to hate on Terry or something. And so I don't know. If you can't realize Jaden Daniels is the best NFC quarterback,
no, he's awesome.
You gotta look a little harder. You gotta look a little harder out there.
Oh, Jalen Hurts, I still think is better than him. I know.
That's absurd. Hurts is great. You have never seen Hurts without an elite wide receiver core and elite O-line.
Yeah, I have. He didn't have very good line play or wide receivers at Oklahoma.
In the NFL, you haven't seen that. You put Hurts behind the Commanders and you put Jaden behind the Eagles. Who wins the game?
I don't know, man. Goal of the game is to win.
Who would win that game? Everyone knows it would be Jaden. Everyone. Hurts is good. I think he's dominant. I've said this for a long time, but I mean, that's absurd. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your day/week. Like, subscribe, join the Discord. Link should be below for both of us. Peace out.